Here. There it is, the College of Winterhold. Finally made it. As they rode into town, they could see and notice the devastation that happened in the Red Year. How it could stay standing. This much was still standing after 200 years. He is impressed. Alright. We'll leave our horses here, Rigmor. We'll go on into the college here. Welcoming committee, I suspect.
Cross the bridge at your own peril. The way is dangerous, and the gate will not open. You shall not gain entry.
Why are you out here?
I am here to assist those seeking the wisdom of the college. And if, in the process, my presence helps to deter those who might seek to do harm, so be it. The more important question is, why are you here?
Archmage Malisum invited us here. Wow, this is definitely a different decor from the rest of the college, Rigmor. He said final door down the hallway was his.
Rigmor's guardian. And the famous, or perhaps I should say infamous, Rigmor of Bruma. I am honored to make your acquaintance at long last.
Hi. I'm hoping to find out anything about my ancestry.
Ah, yes. Rigmor, why don't you go with Keris? She will take good care of you and explain a little about all that. And possibly might have some heirlooms left in good keeping at the college for your perusal.
Dragonborn?
It's okay. You go ahead. I have some business to discuss. I'll be right over.
Okay.
Come this way, Rigmor. There's so much to talk about.
This place is so cool. I love it already.
Cool? Are you cold?
It means great. I made it up.
Oh, I've never heard of that. How interesting.
Okay, Malisum. You said before there's something important I should know about Rigmor.
It's a rather long story. Would you like the complete version or just the bare facts?
I wish to know everything.
A long time ago, some 200 years to be precise, there was a mercenary by trade known as Rigmor of Cyrodiil. She had a pretty uneventful early life, taking petty contracts until she joined an army of outlaws. The very same outlaw army, led by the Colovian warlord Titus Mede, who marched into the imperial city in the 17th year of the Fourth Era, wresting power from fools of Gibbery. It was a sad tragedy then that, after giving birth to a baby girl 3 years later, she became gravely ill and died shortly after at the age of 38. Physicians attribute her death to the unwanted accidental pregnancy at a late age.
And the child?
Titus Mede was besides himself with grief and arrangements, but made for the child to be adopted by the College of Winterhold by royal decree. The infant was duly adopted, and her belongings kept in storage therein. The child was named Morgan. At her coming of age, Morgan of Winterhold was summoned to the imperial city to become imperial court mage to the Mede dynasty, where she later was to become a very powerful influence. Before she left to take up her newly appointed duties, it is rumored she had taken her late mother's Daedric armor and crafted an amulet of Talos from it. She also took a Daedric ceremonial blade her mother had kept as a souvenir to strengthen her mother's bastard sword, with its blade increasing its properties.
She must have been a very powerful woman.
The Emperor would always seek her guidance in affairs of the Empire. Overshadowing the heir to the dynasty, Athrobus Mede, who was fiercely jealous of this foreign witch, so much so, at the event of the Emperor's death, Athrobus Mede struck. Morgan and her husband, a palace guard captain, were accused of a plot to usurp power. Her husband was slain, and Morgan escaped, fleeing Cyrodiil with their only child. Her disappearance only served to confirm the rumors Morgan was the bastard child of Titus Mede I and Rigmor of Cyrodiil. She and her child Morgana were never heard of again.
Then
One fine day, Morgan's heirlooms miraculously surfaced. The Falmor had found them buried in a chest belonging to one Ragnar of Bruma. The identity of Rigmor, his only heir, and her history became known to the college. Unfortunately, we were too late to intervene. The college, you see, is duty-bound to protect and serve the descendants of Morgan of Winterhold.
I'm not sure I like where this is going.
Before she leaves here, it is my duty to tell her of her ancestry. The Emperor Titus Mede II is to restore her name and accept her family as part of the Mede dynasty. He is also offering her the position of the recently vacant Countess of Bruma, if she desires it. All she has to do is accept it, and it shall be hers. So now, Guardian, here we are.
She's too fragile right now. This would not be the best time to tell her.
I am afraid this doesn't concern you anymore, Guardian. Tell her I must.
I'm duty-bound to protect her. I'll tell her when I think the time is right.
I shall ignore the threatening undertones, Guardian. You see, killing me would serve no purpose. She will eventually come to know. Unless, of course, you intend to lock her away in some dark dungeon, or gallivant around the wilds of Tamriel like a common bandit. Also, I like you. I have a lot of respect for you and your achievements, and you have protected her well. In fact, I cannot think of anywhere else I would rather Rigmor be at this troubling time. With an imminent invasion looming, and all that, it would be prudent to await the outcome of such an event. We would, after all, need to make sure the Emperor is still in residence at the Imperial City.
Agreed. No point in telling her just yet.
So I will relent and leave the decision to you when to tell her. But I must have your word. Give me your word of honor, Guardian, that as soon as she is fit and well, you will deliver to Rigmor her legacy.
I don't really have much of a choice now, do I?
I am afraid not.
Fine. You have my word of honor.
I think our business here is done. Anyway, Guardian, it's obvious now is not the time. Take care of her.
Dragonborn, you have so got to see this. Come on, this way.
I think we had better see what all that commotion is about.
Agreed. He followed after her, wondering what got her so excited. Being truly curious this time. Well, well, well. What do we have here? What is all this?
This armor was left by Morgan of Winterhold. She was an ancestor of mine. Carrie says it belongs to me. Isn't it wonderful?
It looks fantastic. Ugh. It looks fantastic. Why don't you try putting it on?
Do you think I should?
Please do, my child. We await with anticipation.
Go ahead. You can take it off again. Don't worry.
How does it look?
Remarkable. It's a fine example of antique armor forged by the famous Khajiit armorer Zizije. This particular piece was worn by your great-great-grandmother, Morgan of Winterhold, when she accompanied the Emperor Titus Mede I on campaign.
What the hell are these?
Oh, those, yes. Those, dear girl, are breasts.
Why would anyone put breasts on a cuirass?
Ah, well, you see, men wear the cuirass, and women wear what's called the, breastplate. Yes. It's used as a combat tactic. When the enemy approaches and raises his weapon, you would dazzle him with your breastplate, giving you the advantage, and then you strike.
Yeah, right. Dragonborn?
He's making fun of you, Rigmor. It's a custom cuirass made for a war maiden.
What? Oh, har har. Very funny. I guess I could get used to it, though. I love it.
Ah.
Nice try back there.
She really does have a wonderful innocence, and it's quite lovable, isn't she?
Yes. Yes, she is.
Anyway, Guardian, I think our business here is done. Don't forget to tell the girl when you think she is ready. It's obvious now is not the time. Take care of her. Who knows, one day our paths might cross again.
Are you ready to head out to Ingalls Camp?
Yeah, let's get this over with. Can you carry the armor for me?
Sure, no problem. Looks light anyway.
Dragonborn, there's a sword, too.
I'll look after it for you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Alright. Let's go, Rigmor. So, did you learn anything about your ancestors?
Well, Morgan was my great-great-great-grandmother. and her mother was also called Rigmor. But she died, and the college adopted Morgan, and when she came of age became the court mage to the Meade dynasty. How cool is that, Dragonborn?
Very cool, Rigmor. Very cool.
So, the heirlooms I had, when I first met you, Morgan made those from her mother's armor and weapons. But after the Emperor died, she came back to the college and disappeared. She took the heirlooms with her, but left behind what we have now.
Come on. Let's go get this over with.
What am I going to say to them?
You'll think of something. I'll be right beside you, okay?
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, let's go do this.
So you can cast a few spells? Am I supposed to be impressed?
Alright. Go get on Ren, Rigmor. We need to get ready to make a long ride.